I'm Kathleen McGrath. In this presentation, you're going to learn how to create a Win32 application using Visual C++. The Win32 API, also known as the Windows API, is a C-based framework for creating Windows applications and has been around since Windows 1.0. In this demonstration, I'll show you how to create a simple Win32 application that displays Hello World in a window. Because the procedure steps are identical for all Win32 applications, you can use this code as a skeleton to create any other Win32 application. I'll create a new project by clicking File, New, and then New Project. In the New Project dialog box, I'll expand Visual C++ and click Win32. Then I'll select a Win32 project, and I'll name this Win32App, saving it to the default location, and then I'll click OK. In the Win32 application wizard, I'll click Next, and for application type, I'll select Windows Application. For additional options, I'll select Empty Project, and then I'll click Finish to create the project. Now I'll add a C++ file to the project by selecting Add New Item from the Project menu, and then I'll select C++ File, and I'll name this Hello World Win32, and click Add. The file Hello World Win32.cpp is added to the project. As you know, every C and C++ application must have a main function. This function is the starting point for the application. Similarly, in a Win32 application, every application must have a WinMain function, so I'll add it here. In addition to WinMain, each Win32 application must also have a second function, which is usually called WinProc, which stands for Windows Procedure. I'll add the WinProc function here. This function handles any message that your application receives from the operating system. For example, imagine that you've created a dialog box that has an OK button. When the user clicks that button, the operating system sends your application a message which lets you know that a user pressed this button. The WinProc function is responsible for responding to that event. For example, it might close the dialog box. Now I'll add some functionality to the WinMain function. Since I'm going to show Hello World in a window, first I'm going to define the window UI. Then I need to register the window, create an instance, and then display it. To catch events, I'll set up a message loop to listen to messages from the new window. Finally, I'll define my text message and use the Paint API to display the message when the window UI is painted. So first I'll add a window class structure of type WinClassX inside WinMain. This Windows class structure contains information about your window, such as the application's icon or the background color of the window. Notice that for style, we use CS-H-Redraw, CS-V-Redraw. This means that the window will automatically be redrawn when the horizontal or vertical size changes. Next, I'll add a register_classX function to register the window class with the operating system. Next, I'll create the window using the createWindow function. This function returns an hwind, which is a handle to a window. To display the window on the screen, we'll use this code. It won't display anything yet because we haven't added functionality to the WinProc function. Next, we need a message loop, and this message loop listens for messages that the operating system sends. When the application receives a message, the message is dispatched to the WinProc function to handle it. Typically, you use a switch statement within the WinProc function. When the application receives a message that a portion of your application's window must be updated, called a WMPaint message, you can handle it with the BeginPaint and EndPaint functions. Within these functions, you add the code to handle the event. So in the case that a WMPaint message is received, BeginPaint occurs, and we display Hello World inside the window by using the TextOut function, and then EndPaint occurs. Your application will typically handle many other messages such as WMCreate and WMDestroy. I'll add a WMDestroy case to make the code more complete. WMDestroy is called when the window is closed and PostQuit message unregisters the window with the operating system and closes the window. Next, I'll add some code to the top of my file that includes header files and some global variables needed to run the application. To build the application, I'll click Build and select Build Solution. The application compiled without any errors, so now I'll run the application by pressing F5. A simple window with the text Hello World is displayed on the screen near the upper left corner. You can get more information about developing Visual C++ applications in the Visual C++ Help. You can find other resources such as technical articles, samples, blogs, and videos at the Visual C++ Developer Center. Just go to msdn.microsoft.com/visualc.